Here's one that, man, was just such a kick in the teeth to me when I was first sort of confronted with this. Never call your team to excellence you haven't equipped them for. I was on tour, and it was, I had a little band with me, and it was like, it wasn't a big thing. It was like 10, 15 city, something like that. And the guy who was opening for me actually was my mentor as well, but he was also an artist. And so I brought him out to open the shows for us. And also he was in the band. He was in my band too. So he was kind of like, you know, an auxiliary everything guy. And it was great. You know, he had about 10 years on me, had been an artist for 20 years at that point. And so it was really and also really helpful to have him around because he was able to provide a lot of wisdom for me as we went. And I remember one day we were sharing a hotel room one night, and he said, basically he said, man, you are expecting, it was like one of the first couple nights of the tour, you're expecting a lot from your band. I don't know if you see this. You're expecting a lot from them, but bro, I was on that band email and you didn't get those charts out till like today, you know? So you just need to know that's probably, he wasn't frustrated. He was like, but I'm speaking on behalf of your team. They're probably a little frustrated if you're digging into them at those rehearsals because they're not nailing it. And it was just the first time that somebody had the guts to tell me that and go, okay, I should never call you to an excellence unless I've equipped you for it. And if I haven't equipped you for it, I should be really okay if it's just because that's all that I have set you up for. You know, and so, well, what does that mean? You know, I know Shane talked about it at the live rehearsal thing, but what does that mean? What could that look like? Well, for me, it has looked like not just creating charts for the songs. Now, I'm thinking in like a church worship setting, not just creating charts for the songs, but creating like really good, clear charts with markers that aren't just like done on Notepad and then, you know, like copy and paste it and like quality charts. I even insert now, sort of month to month, I keep adapting, but I insert now in red my band markers and cues in the song. So if we know this song, we're like 95% of the time we're dropping out in that bridge, I'm gonna put band out at the top of the bridge in red. And for my volunteer team, now for these guys, there's a lot of intuition here. Like they play these songs a bunch. They probably don't need those markers. Like
it's still helpful.
But it is helpful.
I need those markers.
Joey needs those markers
real bad.
Please give me the marker.
But imagine you're a soccer mom, you know, who happens to be playing piano that Sunday, right? With me. You're probably not thinking a whole lot about the chart throughout the week. You just need it clear. So we do that. Making sure your rehearsal audio is good. So I every rehearsal now, when I'm doing choir rehearsals, so we don't have like an MD and a choir lead. We don't have that. It's kind of all just me and the other worship leader figuring that out. So like on Sundays where we have a choir or any vocalist, we record each little part on an iPhone, and then I throw it up on Planning Center at the end of the night or in the morning. And so now every subsequent rehearsal, we never have to review harmonies. I can just point them to that, and they have it. They always know. It says girl harmony, chorus 1, oh, praise the name, and it's there. And that has been helpful for our team because now they don't have to like panic. And if they don't come prepared, it's no longer my fault, right? There is a little bit of relief of like doing the good equipping up front, and that like now you actually have some leverage in a moment where they're not landing the plane, where you can go, man, I feel like on our end we are equipping you as much as we can. What else can we do to help you? And if there's nothing else that we can do to help you, you've just been lazy. Now I have a pastoral teaching moment, right? And now I can call them to excellence for the gospel's sake and out of a spiritual reason instead of just, do it, And so that's one of the things we do. We separate our band and choir our band and vocalist rehearsals now because our vocalists were getting really distracted and the choir and the band was getting really distracted. So just everything that you can do to set them up for excellence is going to be a win. And, you guys might have something to say to this too, but I'm just thinking with my player, vocalist, well, let me say something first about like sound, lights, all that. Here's another thing, and I just got confronted on this like a month ago, which is why I'm bringing it up. Let's talk about if you're the crew, right? If you're lights or sound or whatever, setup, tear down, or something like that. Man, if I, as your leader, am not giving you before Sunday a good sense of what you can expect, then yeah, it is gonna feel crazy on a Sunday morning. And that's what my service lead came and said to me last month. She was like, hey, I think it's cool that you guys had a horn section last week. I really do. That was really cool. I sure would have liked to know that before Sunday morning. So that to me was like, okay, this is another moment where I'm expecting excellence. I'm expecting the lighting to cover all the appropriate parts of the stage and blah, blah, blah. But I never even told anybody that we're like, oh yeah, we're adding a cello in this part and it's gonna be front and center. And the sound guy just, note, we're gonna have a cello and we need to mix that and et cetera, et cetera. If you don't tell them, you can't expect them to nail it. So we send out emails. After our service flow meeting on Thursdays, we send it out to all the tech AV crew now, just giving them the run-do, copy and pasting the PCO flow, and providing them with any little details about like, hey, we're having baptisms this Sunday. Hey, we're doing this Sunday. Hey, and I know it seems like maybe you guys already do this. Maybe I'm just so bad at this job that I'm just finding that out. But do that. Period. Yes? Yes.
I have a little note too.
Say it.
Like, also when you're posting like versions of songs on Planning Center, hopefully everybody's using something like that. But remembering that, like, to go through and look at that, there's some times where the worship leader picks the song and isn't thorough and listen to the version that's posted on there. Maybe somebody else posted a different ministry, and then the musician ends up learning the song that's there, comes in, and it's a different version than the one that they were expecting everyone to learn. And then also, I mean, I've experienced times where I've learned a song, and there was one like a couple Christmases ago. It was like a Need to Breathe song or something, and it was kind of a lot of work for me. I spent like 45 minutes at home, and it could have been time with my family or whatever. And then we get there, and the worship leader was like, oh, no, we're going to do something completely different. You know what I mean? And it was like, you just wasted a bunch of my time, and I could have done something else or could have, come prepared in a different way. And so just any of those things too, if you've got an idea, if you're like, no, we're going to do something different, get the general idea of how the song goes, but you don't have to learn the exact parts. That's really helpful for the people too. Just remember you're expecting them to take time during the week to prepare, and so honor their time.
Yeah. Amen. Yeah. And that doesn't mean if you're the player or the sound guy or whatever, and your worship leader drops the ball that week, that somehow you get to lord that over them now because I said this to you, at a conference once.
Well, Jimmy said.
Jimmy said. But we are to extend grace, but us in leadership positions should absolutely be thinking, how can I set our whole team up for a win? Okay, we need to keep moving.